The ancient stones of Windisfall Monastery rose before Royce and Hadrian like a silent guardian against the approaching dusk. Myron, a young monk with perpetually wide eyes and an infectious enthusiasm, welcomed them with open arms, his brown robe swishing against the worn stone steps. The warmth of the monastery's great hall enveloped them, a stark contrast to the chill that had followed their harrowing escape. As they settled in, Myron's endless stream of historical facts and figures provided an oddly comforting backdrop to their recovery. Yet, in the dancing shadows cast by the hearth's flames, Royce couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. Deep in the monastery's library, surrounded by towering shelves of leather-bound volumes, Myron's excitement reached new heights as he shared the chronicles of Novron's heir. Hadrian found himself drawn to the ancient military texts, while Royce discovered disturbing patterns in the historical records. When Myron revealed the existence of a hidden chamber beneath the library, containing texts even the church hadn't accessed in centuries, the pieces began falling into place. But their research was interrupted by the sound of horses in the courtyard. Unexpected visitors at this late hour, the hidden chamber proved to be a treasure trove of secrets. As Myron translated the ancient Elvish texts, his hands trembling with excitement, Royce and Hadrian exchanged worried glances. The truth about the church's founding was far darker than anyone had imagined. When Myron reached the final passage, his face went pale. The sound of footsteps echoed through the chamber, heavy, purposeful steps approaching their sanctuary. Royce quickly extinguished their lamp, plunging them into darkness. The last thing they saw was Myron's terrified expression as he whispered, "They're here." The ancient door creaked open. In the flickering candlelight of the monastery's ancient archives, Myron's trembling hands traced the weathered pages of a forbidden text. Royce watched with growing unease as the monk's eyes widened with each revelation. The truth about the Church of Nifron began unraveling like a frayed tapestry. Hadrian paced nervously between the towering shelves, his warrior's instincts sensing the weight of the moment. "This can't be right," Myron whispered, his voice barely audible over the crackling torches. "The entire history we've been taught, it's all fabricated." The ancient scrolls revealed a different origin of Novron, one that threatened to shake the foundation of the entire empire. Princess Arista's arrival at the monastery brought more than just royal presence. It brought danger. As Myron shared his discoveries, her face grew paler with each revelation. The bloodline she carried, the crown she was meant to inherit, everything held a darker meaning now. The church's millennium-long manipulation became clear. They weren't preserving history, they were controlling it. When Ezra Haddon's name emerged in the ancient texts, Royce noticed a shadow pass across the courtyard. "Someone's watching," he hissed. But the figure had already vanished into the monastery's labyrinthine corridors. Deep in the monastery's restricted vault, they found the final piece. An ancient map hidden within a hollow statue of Novron revealed locations of other artifacts, pieces of a puzzle the church had been collecting for centuries. But as Myron decoded the map's ancient elven script, the monastery bells began tolling urgently. "Imperial Guards," Hadrian announced, his sword already drawn. Royce's lockpicks worked frantically on the vault's door as torchlight approached from both corridors. Princess Arista clutched the map, her royal training warring with fear. Then Myron spoke words that froze them all. "There's more. The church isn't just hiding history. They're preparing for something that requires the heir's blood." The torchlight grew brighter, and multiple footsteps echoed through the stone corridors. They were surrounded. The autumn mist clung to the village of Dahlgren like a ghostly shroud as Royce and Hadrian rode in on their tired horses. The settlement, nestled between ancient oaks and weathered stone walls, seemed unusually quiet for midday. Smoke curled from chimneys in thin, hesitant wisps, and windows were shuttered despite the mild weather. Their arrival drew furtive glances from villagers who quickly retreated into their homes. Only the village blacksmith, a burly man named Theron, dared to greet them openly, though his welcome came with visible apprehension. As they dismounted, a young woman with fierce determination in her eyes emerged from the crowd. Thrace Wood, daughter of the village leader, approached them with purpose, her steps unwavering despite the fearful murmurs of those around her. That evening, gathered in the village hall, Thrace recounted the horrors that had befallen Dahlgren. Her father, Magnus, sat silent and broken beside her as she described the mysterious deaths. Villagers found torn apart in the fields, livestock vanishing in the night, and strange sounds echoing from the ancient tower of Avempatha. Royce noticed subtle inconsistencies in the various accounts, his thief's instinct telling him there was more to this than a simple monster. Hadrian, meanwhile, focused on the practical aspects of defense, though his suggestions were met with resigned hopelessness. As night fell, an otherworldly screech pierced the darkness, sending everyone into panic. Through the window, they glimpsed a massive shadow passing overhead, its movement defying natural laws. Dawn brought the grim discovery of another victim, this time closer to the village center than ever before. As Royce examined the scene, his keen eyes spotted markings that made his blood run cold. Signs he'd seen only in ancient texts about creatures thought long extinct. Thrace approached the duo with an offer that surprised even the cynical Royce. She would pay them everything she owned to help her kill the beast. Her determination struck a chord with Hadrian, but Royce remained skeptical, especially after noticing mysterious figures watching them from the tree line. Just as they were about to refuse, Thrace revealed a secret about Avempatha that changed everything. A detail about the tower that connected to a job they'd done months ago. Before she could finish her revelation, screams erupted from the village square. Something had emerged from the morning mist, something that shouldn't exist in their world. As dusk settled over Dahlgren, Royce and Hadrian sat in the dimly lit tavern, listening to terrified villagers share tales of the mysterious beast. The air was thick with fear and wood smoke, creating dancing shadows on rough-hewn walls. Thrace's father, the village leader, spread out ancient parchments on their table, his hands trembling as he pointed to crude drawings of a creature that had haunted these lands for centuries. Royce's keen eyes caught details others missed, patterns in the attacks, a method to the seeming madness. The beast wasn't just hunting, it was selecting its prey with unsettling intelligence. Dawn brought them to the edge of the forest where the beast had last been seen. Morning mist curled around their ankles as Royce traced impossible tracks, claw marks that scored stone like butter, branches snapped at heights no normal creature could reach. Hadrian's warrior instinct screamed danger at every turn. They discovered a hidden cave entrance, its walls bearing ancient elven markings that made Royce's eyes widen with recognition. Their torch revealed scattered bones and, more disturbingly, deliberate arrangements of stones in patterns that spoke of intelligence rather than bestial nature. The mystery deepened when they found fresh tracks leading not into the wilderness, but toward Avempatha Tower. As sunset approached, they made their most chilling discovery. High in the branches of an ancient oak, they found a makeshift nest, not of twigs and leaves, but of salvaged metal and crystal. Royce's fingers brushed against something that hummed with ancient power. Hadrian spotted movement in the gathering darkness, something massive shifting between the trees, too deliberate to be natural. Their eyes met in shared understanding. This was no mere beast. As they prepared to retreat, a sound froze them in place. Not the roar they expected, but something far more terrifying. Words, ancient and powerful, spoken in a voice that should not exist. Behind them, branches cracked under an impossible weight.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?